charged with the handling of such cases in a manner calculated to prevent a more serious development.
That's true, Judge.
Have you done that, Hal Finley? Are you guilty or not guilty? Guilty or not guilty?
This may look like a hair-raising drama, but don't be misled. You're watching a scene about saving time on the job from a classic industrial, the biggest single genre of films ever made, and the movie's best-kept secret. Often they're the clearest window into America's past. They may seem simplistic and silly like Romance of the Lemon or The Wonderful World of Wash and Wear. But these are more than just how-to films. They're clues to the hidden history of this century, and often reveal more about the way we lived, worked, and thought than old newsreels, TV shows, and feature films.
Oh, not quite. This one is too stiff.
Industrial filmmaking was a big, big industry. They said that in the 40s and 50s, more film was exposed in Detroit than in either New York or Hollywood. Detroit was one of the great centers of industrial film production. Some of these companies were studios with 400, 500, 600 people working for them. One of these companies, Jam Handy, had at one point 2 orchestras, full orchestras on staff to make the background music for their films.
May I have a little music to make sludge by?
Certainly.
That company, Jam Handy, made over 10,000 films in its lifetime. So it's a very big industry.
A tall order? It most certainly is.
Basically, there were 2 kinds of industrial films. One was made to train workers on everything from how to weld aluminum to how to deal with stage fright.
The thing you're really afraid of is yourself.
The others were industry's way of befriending the public and were shown in schools, movie theaters, community groups, and television in its infancy. These precursors to commercials didn't simply advertise a product. They promoted a company's identity.
The clarion call of industry sounds good morning to America's manpower.
One film that I've always been really impressed with is a film called From Dawn to Sunset, which shows the life of a typical GM worker in 1937. And it begins with people getting up in the morning and eating breakfast and trucking to work. And it's a real great slice of life. It's not really acted. You can get a real sense of what the reality was for people who were doing that kind of work then.
On the most basic level, industrial films show us the look of times, places, and occupations that are no longer with us. They show us history, not the kind historians write about, but the history of everyday life. Somewhere in an industrial film, there is something for every one of us. Pictures of our hometown, the kind of work our parents did, the look of a 1920s farm, or the latest car of 1960.
A wonderful new world of Fords.
We call these films ephemeral films because they were made for a specific purpose at a specific time, and when that purpose was over, there was no need to save the film. I mean, who needs a 1948 Oldsmobile film in 1949 or 1950?
Come on. I have my Oldsmobile outside.
And all of this is lost history. It's history that we're going to want to come back to.
These are the people shot during World War II at the Kimberly-Clark Paper Company shows women working in a factory substituting for the men overseas. It's one thing to say that women worked in industry during the war, and it's another to see exactly what they did.
Women at war. Women in production service. Mobilized into a single unit with a single purpose.
Industrial films show America at its best. They don't just show us as we were, but they present an image of how we were supposed to be. Like Office Etiquette, made in the 50s, where office gossip and evening wear were discouraged on the job.
And I learned that a date after work is no reason to break the rule about simple dress in the office.
In an industrial film, workers work harder, faster, safer, and smarter than anyone ever did. Consumers do their bit for the nation's prosperity by buying better and newer appliances. And of course, that all-important second car.
Dave has it all to himself, and I now have the ranch wagon all to myself. It's a whole new way of life.
And proud housewives turn their homes into efficient mini factories for clean clothes.
Suds? Why, I want lots of suds. Every woman does.
It took more inventiveness to make industrial films than it did to make a regular movie, because industrial subjects were generally perceived as mundane.
What do you want us to do for you?
Make sludge.
So a tremendous amount of creativity was applied to these films, continually surprising us with surrealistic sets and plenty of entertaining visuals.
It's a remarkable new polyester film called Mylar. That's a miracle. A miracle that could only happen in the wonderful world of wash and wear.
Let's go after that drop of gasoline.
One of the jobs that industrial films had to do was to humanize technology to the people. And one of the ways that it did that was by doing cartoons. Because when you do cartoons, you can invent characters. So in Down the Gasoline Trail, it gave the gasoline drop becomes a little character that travels through the engine and powers the car and then explodes at the end and dies. So it becomes a lot less mysterious and a lot less threatening and you know, humanized.
The idea of progress and forward motion was a recurring theme in the 1940s industrial. Everything from tools to aluminum to workers march along confidently, excited about the prospects of tomorrow.
And as each builder marches forth to shape his destiny, tens of thousands more go with him, side by side.
No other medium can track our technological, not to mention sociological evolution better than industrial films.
What does the emancipation of American women mean to you?
As in Mother Takes a Holiday, a half-hour-long commercial by Whirlpool featuring three sisters sitting around discussing how the new washing machine will lead to the emancipation of women.
Oh, my gosh. That's a terrific angle. Talk about emancipation. Take the family wash, for instance.
Leave It to Rollo, produced in 1939 and shown at the New York World's Fair, predicted the end to housework. Here was a robot that would do all the household chores, so the housewife could lounge around happily and press buttons all day.
Yes, ma'am. Rollo, yes.
Everyone says the future is strange, but I have a feeling some things won't change.
America's fascination with the future was never more apparent than in the industrial.
And now we have arrived in this wonder world of 1960.
Also produced in 1939 for the World's Fair was GM's To New Horizons, a film that presented the utopia of 1960.
Safe distance between cars is maintained by automatic radio control.
Tomorrow, our dreams will come true.
One of the reasons that industrials are America's best kept secret is they weren't saved.